Yo, episode 13, guys. We are back live. I mean, we're not ever live. We're kind of just uploading and, we'll be live soon, right, guys? We'll be live, eventually soon. Soon we become
Get
live.
ready to hear it.
Stay tuned, guys. Babe, new week, new episode 13, where we bring a new bottle, and Carl still brings his Mountain Dew Code Red because he thinks it can mix with anything.
Not with that
he didn't even say
Airstone thing that
everybody's here.
Permanently glued to this table.
Yeah, always something, But listen, guys, thank you for coming back. For all of listeners that have been here, thank you for showing love every week. We love y'all. For all the new guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell all your people. Tell your mama. Tell your daddy. Tell your brother, sister. We doing this every week until we can't do it no more. And Gio, what are we drinking today, man? New bottle.
We got a little bit of Captain Morgan spiced apple. Delicious, very smooth, very fruity. I like the aroma.
Why gotta be fruity?
Because apples. The fuck is an apple?
Fruit.
Yeah, but it's not like a fruity.
It's not a fruity.
It's a fruit.
It's a fruit.
It's probably the most known fruit.
Yeah, and it's not just any fruit. It's not just any apple. It's Granny Smith's in this bitch.
Those are better apples than the red apples. I would say that.
Yes, the green apple is the best one.
I don't think you ever had a Honeycrisp then.
So salute to the Granny Smith that we're drinking.
Granny
today.
Smith.
Salute, guys.
Salute.
Get that cold red shit out of my face.
Cracked it?
Sound like
Somebody's cup cracked. Guys, today we're gonna do something a little different. First, we're gonna talk about how Lionel Messi, if you guys saw in the news, he's done with Barcelona. He's moving on to PSG, going to Euro, and Spain's in Europe, so he's going French. Paris Saint-Germain, in case people don't know PSG. And we're gonna have Gio's Florida man as usual, and we're gonna do something at the end that's different. We're gonna talk about who's the best superhero, and we're gonna go a little segment called Around the Clock, and we'll take it into there. But let's go back to Lionel Messi. Years in Barcelona, and now he's left for a new team, and it's the whole craze because they are saying that it's supposed to be like a super team over in PSG, and that's kind of been the trend how most teams throughout all sports are drafting the best players or trading for the best players to get super teams. And I don't know, do you feel like it's fun for the league? Do you feel like it's fun for the fans? It's good for the... What do you think, Kevin?
I feel like in soccer, it's always been that state that there have been a bunch of super teams. Barcelona was a super team. Mm-hmm. And again, Barcelona was full of like the top players, and because obviously with soccer, you have a lot of money to spend. They have more money than probably any other sport. They do have more money than any other sport.
That's true.
So they can afford to bring somebody over. In other sports, obviously like basketball, it's probably the only other thing that I can say as a super team. Football is kind of hard to make a super team. You can't really do that.
Last year Tampa Bay.
That's true. Tampa Bay.
Who's the worst receiver?
Right, so Tampa Bay was made mostly because of drafts.
No.
Well, okay.
What's that? Barring 3 players from one because of he came out of retirement.
But they still signed him though. Like it's
the second one because he came on a girl's back and nobody wanted him.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Jesus.
Hey guys, so thank you for tuning in. I'm out of here.
Get that one out there. Nobody wanted Antonio Brown because all the stuff that was around him.
A lot of people want Antonio Brown apparently.
For those of you overseas, just a heads up, soccer is football. That's what we're talking about.
Thanks, Gio.
Yeah.
Ain't no problem, man.
Thanks for international.
I don't know anything about any of this stuff, so I thought I'd throw my hand in the ring.
But yeah, so it's really hard in football. Basketball, it's a lot easier. Obviously, they have a lot more control. Mm-hmm. Players have a lot more control of what they can do. But is it good or bad for the sport? It's just something you have to adapt to as a team. Because look at basketball. Basketball had a bunch of super teams, and a non-super team won the championship, which is the Bucks.
They also had a lot of injuries.
But that's part of the game.
That is part of the game.
That's part of the game.
You're absolutely right.
With any sport you go to, you have injuries. So it doesn't matter if you have the injuries or not. You had a super team. You had the chance to dominate in that sport. Mm-hmm. You did it. A non-super team won.
Yeah,
so it can always happen. A non-super team can always beat a super team.
All right, so you don't give Bucks. Maybe they're not considered a super team.
They're not,
but they're very close to a super team.
How are they a super team?
Because so the problem with so you have Middleton and you have Jrue Holiday. Uh-huh. Those are all-star players. Like I would say, almost if they were playing on another team, they would be. Well, Jrue Holiday played on another team, and he was still very good. But like Middleton is a superstar player. Like he would be an all-star, like superstar player if he was on another team. You have Giannis on that team, and and that you're gonna be always overshadowed by Giannis because of
when you talk about super teams, you have to imagine the teams of the past that you consider players that are superstars versus an all-star. Like an all-star role player versus a superstar, somebody who could take over a game.
Yeah, like future Hall of Famer is what that is.
Chris Middleton can't take over a game by himself and win a game.
Oh, he did that?
He can't.
That's because Giannis was there.
Yeah. Giannis draws a lot of attention to the team. You have players like, you want to superstardom, let's say, remember when in 2011 when you guys got LeBron and Chris Bosh in Miami? Mm-hmm. You can consider LeBron a superstar, Dwayne Wade a superstar,
and Chris Bosh at the time was a
superstar. You have 3 superstars in your starting lineup. That's a super team.
Speaking of that, now let's get into that one because you guys created a super team in Miami.
Yeah.
And you lost to a non-super team, which was Dallas.
You did.
Hey, Dallas
they only had Dirk.
Yeah.
Dirk was the only superstar on that team.
They had Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd was not a superstar at the time.
Did he make the Hall of Fame?
He was way past his prime.
You don't have to worry, but sometimes it's not about how you're playing at the time. But if you have the mentality and like you know how to play the game,
you can't physically do it.
How to play it.
Yeah.
Jason Terry's
not a superstar.
No, he's not.
But he went off.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy? You guys lost to. Like, imagine you let one guy beat you.
All right, so we had 3 players, but we didn't have the bench. That's the problem. And that's why the bench, at the end of the day, for me, I think what's most important is always the bench. Your superstars are not going to play the whole game. You play 40 minutes a night, like...
I'm going to let you know, Dirk put it on you guys.
Yeah, that's right, he did.
I didn't say I
Jason Terry, he tattooed the championship trophy on his shoulder before even winning it. That's some disrespectful shit. And they came up with the title that year.
I mean, granted, they got the revenge with that fucking 3-man fucking fast break on Jason Terry
with Boston.
Yeah, that was foul.
I see that now. When I see I know the play's coming already. Like when you're watching on YouTube or whatever,
you get excited.
Oh, I know it's coming.
I know you guys.
Everybody, shut up.
I know you guys missed those days when the Heat, Miami Heat fans. Let me tell you something about Miami Heat fans. They are one of the worst sports fans in the world. Let me tell you.
Look,
because you guys are only there when I'm not saying all fans, but there are a lot of diehard true fans. But you have fans that they don't know who's playing on the team. They just know that they're winning. They hear about the news. You know that whole winning, that bullshit on that plays. They know that crap.
But you have that everywhere because you've seen when Golden State had their Splash Brothers and the crazy team that they had. There's people in Golden State, like in San Francisco, they'd walk around and be like, "Oh, have you heard of this guy? I know some fracking random guy that created the cardboard box," and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's been playing all right." Like if they knew what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You also have people in Miami wearing Golden State jerseys.
That's true.
Yeah, but
that's anywhere. For every team.
That's anywhere.
It's not anywhere.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Laker fans are diehard Lakers
Jets fans,
diehard Jets fans. Boston Celtics fans are Patriots fans.
Yankees fans.
Yeah,
Patriots fans. Patriots fans are not diehard Patriots fans. Patriots fans.
Marlins fans.
Were they there before Tom Brady?
Of course they were there before Tom Brady.
No, they weren't.
Nobody.
Hey, yeah, exactly. I'm asking like who was the quarterback before Tom? Who's the quarterback before Tom Brady? And they're not gonna know who it is. And I promise you that.
Gio, you a diehard?
No, Gio said something. If you guys didn't hear, he said Marlins fans. Nobody's a Marlins fan.
Gio, you are the only diehard.
I'm a diehard Marlins fan.
You wore a Cubs jersey the other day. Stop it. You have a Cubs hat on right now.
All right, hold on. I got a story behind it.
My grandfather to this day is a Marlins fan, and he watches every game on TV.
They have no choice. They got to support that.
No, because let me tell you, he hung out in New York for a long time, and he's not a Yankees fan. And there's a lot of Cubans that are Yankees fans.
You don't have to be a Yankee. You can be a Mets fan too. Okay.
Man, shut up, Carl.
Yeah, nobody's
be
perfect.
politically correct.
Nobody likes the Mets.
Cubs hat.
Hey,
unfortunately, there are people who like the Mets. I don't know why, but
because it depends on what side of New York you're from.
I mean, that can happen anywhere. But let me tell you, even when you know what upset me. Here's where it's exciting for the league and not exciting too. You look at teams of the past, like you had the old Boston team that people can call. They say were super teams when they had Kevin McHale, Larry Bird, Dennis Johnson, those guys. The Showtime Magic team, they all did it through draft. You know. Now look, you fast forward to 2011, right? LeBron makes the decision.
OKC could have had it through draft. They fucked up.
They did it through draft. They would have had it. They had a team that was.
They would have waited a little longer and gave them the money they needed.
But let me tell you, you didn't think it was too much of a big deal. I mean, look, for the media, all the hype around LeBron James, the decision thing, was a big deal. But come on, you could have been like, "Oh, I'm going to Miami. That's it. I don't need the whole press conference." And then you guys are showboating, talking about he's not going to win not 2, not 3, not 4, not
wasn't
5.
No.
He said that.
Okay, not us. That was him.
He said that.
Fucking liar.
Yeah, he lied to you.
He said
won
that,
2.
Yeah. You guys won 2 out of 4,
and he had to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go back home. I want to bring back to my city.
And then that kind of opened the gateway for a lot of super teams to happen. You talked about Golden State. They did it through draft with the Splash Brothers.
Except KD.
Oh, except KD.
I mean,
they wouldn't have won without KD. And I'll tell you that right
won
now.
without KD. They won the year they beat LeBron.
They wouldn't have won it that year with KD. The years that they've had it with KD, I don't think they would have won it without him.
How you know?
Because KD won MVP.
Finals MVP.
Exactly.
You don't know, Carl.
You're playing in the finals.
Anything can happen. But now look at how the day and age has evolved now. NBA players are getting paid up the ass to go play. It's crazy. Players in general are getting paid like crazy contracts. You know, like $200 million contracts. Football, Josh Allen signed a $250 million contract. Like it's crazy.
But football, like I said, football is like it's hard. Like you get paid that contract because you have to stay there.
Yeah,
You're not building a super team. You're
so
staying
what you
gotta
remember with football too is football's not like in a lot of sports. If let's say you get injured, you're still getting paid your money. Football, you get a game check.
You gotta pay.
You play.
Well, they also get some money guaranteed.
That guaranteed money is probably like
it's a sign bonus.
1% of
it's like a sign on bonus. Hey, congrats on being the team. Here you go, bro.
Now,
5 minutes.
then it goes to that. Look at soccer players. Like so, going back to Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
Like if France has the money, they can make a super team and dominate.
They really can. Any team can really. Like that's why for the longest time it was always Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Yeah, if your pockets
those teams
big
were always dominating because they pay the best players to come play for them.
And the Bucks are not a draft team, Kev.
So let me ask you.
They got two drafts. Hold on, they got two drafts. Let me go back to this. They picked up Fournette.
Who did they bring over?
They picked up Fournette from the Jaguars. They picked up Antonio Brown.
You're talking about the Buccaneers, not the Bucks.
Football.
I thought you were talking about basketball at this point.
No, my bad. No, Buccaneers.
Buccaneers,
yeah, that's a super team.
You can't say the Bucks. There's two teams you just talk about. Let's go to the Bucks.
For those who don't know, who don't follow football, if you watch this last Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did win the Super Bowl. So you had, give me the lineup. You had Tom Brady.
You had Tom Brady.
Gronkowski.
You had Gronk that came back, which is one of the best tight ends at.
Because of Tom Brady.
Because of Tom Brady. But I mean, he's also, you can't give it all to Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady throw the ball up, but you've seen catches that he's made. Anyways, he showed up at the end of the season. Like at the beginning of the season, he wasn't that great. You had Leonard Fournette, which he was okay because he was good in the postseason because he was able to actually like start playing warm up because the other guy, what's his name?
I thought you fact checked, man.
I forgot his name. I can see his head in my his head, like his face in my head, but whatever. Anyways, so you have your three receivers: Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans. Like those are three in the future. Like they have a possibility of being 3 Hall of Fame wide receivers.
The team was very stacked.
The team was stacked before Tom Brady.
And then on top of that, you have the best.
Before you get Tom Brady, but now imagine you have a team that's already very good. It's the same thing with Golden State. They had
but that team was stacked before Tom Brady got there.
Who'd you have? Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
That receiver. You forgot. You forgot with that receiver core with probably a quarterback that was blind. They threw a lot more touchdowns than anybody. That receiver core was cracked. Was fucking stacked. And their running back was still good because they kept that still.
The running back wasn't that great. He was good.
Fournette was trash when he started.
That's true.
He came in the league. He came in to Buccaneers and was like, "Oh, I'm happy I got a quarterback now." And he played like shit for the first half of the season.
Yeah, because you gotta understand, like the way he was playing is that they weren't giving him the minutes. You gotta like warm up to it, like learn. You have to learn the line. This is a brand new line, like new plays.
Whatever. I say, like I said, that team was built. It was a super team because it was a built team already that Tom Brady went to.
Yeah.
And then he brought arguably 3 other players with him.
The only super team that there is right now in the football, like closest to a football team that's been 100%, like not 100%, but is mostly drafted. Their superstars are drafted. Is Kansas City.
Obviously, yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
The other
super team because of what? 3 people though. 4 people.
That's all you need. You need one good receiver.
I say 4. No, 4 people because obviously Patrick Mahomes. You have Tyreek Hill. You have Travis Kelce, and you have the Honey Badger because he's defensive.
Yeah, he had Tyrann Mathieu. I mean, they also have. I mean, Edwards-Helaire is nice too. I mean,
yeah, but he's not in that level yet.
Yeah.
No, and then they picked up Le'Veon Bell.
Stop.
They did. They picked up Le'Veon Bell. That's the problem. When you give guys like that, you don't give them another chance to like warm up. You gotta give them half the season to warm up and like. But
let me ask something, Gio. I know you know not a lot about sports, but I know you watch sports at home. Do you feel like super teams like that are exciting for the league? Are they exciting for the fans? Are they good for business? What do you feel like?
So here's the thing:
ratings.
When I would watch like with you guys and we'd go to watch like the finals games, I'm not entertained when I already know that there's a team that has a possibility to win. I always look for the underdog, especially like when I'm watching the Super Bowl. I root for the people that nobody feels like is gonna win. So I feel like a super team you know, how Carl said it, like how some super teams, or how you guys said it, how some super teams don't win. But it's not fun. I like it when it's a teams that nobody thought was going to make it. Let's see what they got. And that's just pure skill.
Like the Heat. The bubble Heat.
The bubble heat. You know the bubble.
You didn't win.
You didn't
win.
We made it to the finals.
We at
farther than you went.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Hey, my team was trash. I'm gonna put that out there. My team was Oklahoma City.
If you
my team was
bet-
no, stop. My team was trash. We literally only had Chris Paul and rookies, and we made it to the playoffs with that. Imagine that. My team was not good, and we made it to the playoffs. We weren't scheduled to make it to the playoffs. We made it to the playoffs.
You know the problem with your argument, Carl, about you talking about the bubble heat is that the newspaper doesn't talk about second place. Let's go Lakers, baby! Woo! We're gonna repeat this year when we get.
If you would have bet, it can't be a repeat because you lost. Time out. It can't be a repeat because you lost.
We would have won.
And the bubble proved that you guys weren't good because you guys got destroyed.
Okay.
The first round because you're the only team that got swept.
The title going back to Tinseltown, baby.
The reason number one that we didn't give you a better shot in the finals is because we didn't have Goran Dragic and we didn't have Bam. Those are two huge players. The biggest player off the bench and one of the biggest.
What was your argument this year?
Right?
What's your argument this year?
This year is that
you kept the
Bam
same
sucks.
team this year.
Bam sucks.
Bam didn't want to play. I'll give you that.
And Tyler Hero, everybody, the boy wonder. Everybody talked a big game about boy wonder.
He got a girl pregnant. He didn't know what to do with himself after that.
Look, but you know what? We got swept by the team that
Have you seen
won.
the woman that got pregnant?
We got swept by the
You'll
team.
be like, I would
We
not
got-
focus on basketball.
We
either.
got swept.
What's basketball?
We got swept by the team that won it all. So
That's your only argument because they won. That's your only argument.
we got swept by the team that won it all. But watch next season. The Lakers is a retirement home. Everybody out there is going to be
That's
tearing
fine. You're
ACLs,
scared. Yeah, okay.
breaking ankles.
Look, barring injury, even as a Laker fan, even I understand that Brooklyn right now still might be the most favored team to do it right now. You know, because they got three
Not
young
anymore
guys.
after what the fuck you just did.
No, man, but the Lakers took a lot of old guys.
It's old. That's the problem. You gotta stay healthy.
They got old Dwight Howard. They got. Look, I like the team they picked up.
If you would have picked this team up back in like 2008, it's an easy dub.
Yeah,
one.
that team is
Next.
But you got fragile Kyrie. You got fragile
James
Harden. You still have fragile KD. He still gets hurt too.
It's gonna be an interesting year, so we don't know.
Oh, but we're good. That's it.
But we'll see.
We're not worried. Nobody's worried about Miami.
Last thing, just to close off. I mean, as far as I feel about the whole super team things, I
Yeah.
think it's bad for the league.
I think it's good for ratings.
I
Because
think
a lot of people.
Yeah,
obviously
it's good
watch.
for ratings for those games,
Yeah.
Christmas Day and stuff, where they have like the two super teams against
Yeah.
each other and stuff like. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like you said, like you want to root sometimes for the underdog. You want to like get something, and the good thing about sports is that you do get that sometimes.
Yeah.
Basketball is a little bit more tough, but like in baseball and stuff like that, you can get the underdog win a lot. But yeah, I mean, I think it's bad. I think it's bad. It's you're gonna end up losing a lot of ratings. I feel by the end of the season, when you expect whatever's gonna expect, you're like, okay, obviously they're gonna win.
I feel like ratings will stay high because a lot of the fans come to see like certain players, like the superstars.
Yeah.
And we have so many superstars on the team. Unfortunately, there is like resting and sitting, so some players can sit out. And you still can get to see superstars play.
Yeah.
Because say you had a team with only one superstar in it.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, they do resting.
Yeah.
So they rest. Say like they rest
Load management.
load management.
Yeah.
Oh,
Say that LeBron was on Cleveland and they rest LeBron. Oh no, when he was on the Lakers. For that first year he came on the Lakers and he didn't play for the whole year because of injury. Quotes, stop. Quotes, injury.
Yeah, you're right.
And he didn't play for the whole year, so they had like Lakers fans had to watch
Lonzo Ball, baby.
Lonzo Ball scrub it up. Even
Ball.
Lonzo's a good player right now.
Lonzo Ball was so
scrub it up.
good. Lonzo Ball was so good that the Lakers kept him, right? Oh no, I'm wrong.
I didn't
They
say I
did.
like the guy. I didn't say I like.
So yeah, in that sense where you have like the fans will enjoy more because they can still see superstar players play in those cities. Obviously, not in every city.
I'll say one more point that I think that yes, I believe a lot of points that you've given, but I also think too, like when you think about the '90s and Michael Jordan, I'm talking about just basketball in general. Like nobody necessarily wanted to play with Jordan. Everybody wanted to. All those superstars wanted to beat him. You know. So why can't players now want to say instead of the whole like old saying if you can't beat them, join them? I don't want that crap.
No.
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Because they're pussy.
Everybody wants to-
Nobody wants the competition. Nobody wants to fight for it. They want the easy way out.
what it is.
Guess what? Because the money.
Yeah.
You get that championship. You get the championship money, the bonus. You get the playoff bonus. It's all about the money. It's not about
Like
really
yeah, like the
it's not
super
about the
team. Let's say
competition.
the biggest super team right now will say like well more or less the Nets. We'll say the Nets. When they win the finals next year, like
When they win the finals,
if they stay healthy and they say let's win the finals, the first question that they should ask them is be like, oh, did you guys really expect not to win? And see what they got to
You
say.
got a lot of confidence in that. I feel like if you were real,
I got confidence in my Heat. We're gonna get Victor Oladipo back in January, and that's it.
How far are they going? Let me ask you one question. How far are they going?
We're gonna be top 3 in the East.
Top 3 in the East.
And
Carl, how about
deep into the playoffs, possibly, and then win the finals. But yeah,
Okay, cool.
you heard it here, folks.
You heard it here first, guys. We'll check back
Episode 13.
next year.
Let us know what you think about super teams. Are they good for the games or fuck them?
What's your team?
We'll see.
Is it a super team or not a super team? Hey, look, diehard Marlins fan. Nowhere close to a super team.
No, you're a farm team. By the way,
we are. Your team is a super team because of us, so we should get a little bit of the ring.
And with that, it's time for Florida Man.
Yeah. Tell me.
Sponsored by me.
No one.
By
Florida Man.
But if anybody wants to sponsor us, Captain Morgan,
Airstone.
No.
We'll take a sponsor.
Airstone, I will let you know we're not accepting your sponsor.
If you
Mountain
bring a
Dew,
bottle,
we drink a Mountain Dew in Canada Dry. You guys sponsor us.
We are too many people. We don't drink Mountain Dew.
We drink Canada Dry. And Carl
Speak
drinks
for
Mountain Dew.
yourself, man. Hey, Mountain Dew.
Give me the.
We need a sponsorship
give me
here.
the Florida Man, Gio.
Florida Man sues artist over invisible sculpture that sold for $18,000.
Pause.
So it was his imagination.
Hey, this guy's a genius. He's using his
Let
imagination.
me read you the headline. It's from
Yeah.
Hypebeast. Earlier this June, an Italian artist by the name of Salvatore Garau made headlines after his invisible sculpture sold for $18,300 at auctions.
He sold nothing.
He sold an invisible sculpture,
Nothing.
and apparently,
Where have
some Florida man said, "Yo, I came up with that idea first, and I started talking about it first." So that's why he's suing. But it's like there's nothing there.
There's
man.
nothing there. You
Do
know
they
what-
have a picture of just a piece of brick? Like, what is it?
It's like,
It's just legit. Like it's just an open space.
yo, that's a good sculpture, man.
look at
You don't
that,
see it,
bro.
guys?
That's you talking about art. That's woof. That's like remember like a few years ago the banana.
Bro,
The guy that paid for
The guy who put the banana on the fucking thing.
put a banana and put a piece of duct tape over it and sold
you know
for
what
like
it is that you
$1,000.
become so famous as an artist or so known as an artist that you can spit on a wall and be like, "This is art. Pay me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Who are they?
people will be like, "Yo, I need that on my
I
wall."
see what he was going with this.
This guy's a genius. They start crying. They're like, my God.
It's funny. Look, hold on. It's funny. I would tell a story. I would tell a quick story about.
from the Sistine
You want to talk
Chapel.
about the artist with the invisible sculpture that's sold? One day, all of us we used to go to this ale house, Carolina Ale House.
Oh, you talking about you? You talking about you?
And I'm gonna tell.
I know what you're gonna say.
No. Wait.
Let me
Stop.
tell
I've never
this-
been so mesmerized in my life.
Stop, Carl.
Let me tell this quick story about what happened at the ale house one night. A magician came up to us
was
and was
good.
doing a bunch of he was doing
was
a
good.
bunch of card tricks, and with a regular deck of cards, he pulled out, did a bunch of tricks here and there. I was impressed. This guy pulls out a deck. He goes, "I have one last trick," and he opens up like a tin. It looked like a metal tin deck.
I know where you're going with this.
No.
Let me explain
Carl,
myself.
no.
Go ahead.
Let him
Let me
tell the
tell
story
the story,
first.
let him-
I'm gonna let him tell the story,
and then you're gonna
go ahead.
explain.
Now I'm gonna explain myself.
Car, the story doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna talk about you.
I know what you're gonna say already.
But for the viewers at home, I'm gonna talk about
Go
Carl.
explain it.
So here's what happens: the guy pulls out a tin deck, and he opens it up, and there's no cards in the deck. Let me tell you, it's just open, and he goes, "I have an invisible deck of cards," like the same way this artist had the invisible sculpture. This guy goes, "I'm gonna do a card trick for you." So he hands me, quote unquote, the invisible deck. And he goes,
remember this
he
day.
goes, "I'm gonna shuffle." He goes, "Can you shuffle the deck for me?" I'm like, "Okay, cool. I shuffle this invisible deck." I'm thinking this guy's crazy.
You're doing the moves. I saw you doing.
I'm doing things like that, but I had to entertain. Like, put on the show. I'm shuffling this deck. He's like, "Oh, you drop one." I pick one. I pick up this fake card on the floor, and then he goes, "Okay." He goes, "Hand me the deck." I give the deck back to the guy. He goes, "Pick a card." I'm like, if there's no way this guy's gonna pull this trick off. I'm kind of like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I pull this card, and he goes, "Show it. If you need to show somebody, to verify this is the card." Carl's next to me, and Carl looks at me and goes, looks at me and goes, "Reggie, what's card is it?" I was like, Carl, what do you mean what card? There's nothing in my hand, Carl. There's nothing in my hand.
All right, so now
I was trying.
I obviously.
No, it was. I feel like what card did you pick?
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys took it out of like context.
Carl goes, "What
Like,
card did you pick?"
I asked what card was it. Like obviously, I know you didn't pick a card up.
No, you
Like, I
seem
know.
very amazed that you were
Look,
like,
the
"Hey."
only thing that I do give to you, which I mean, and you just do it naturally,
Yeah.
is like you showed me the card and I actually looked at your head. Like, if you're gonna show me something,
Yeah, Carl's like, "What card
And
did
then
you pick?"
that's
And I put my hand up like if I had a card, and Carl looked at it like I had something. I said, "Carl,
Like,
don't
but
even
that
slap
doesn't-
him in front of
that
everybody."
doesn't
Yeah,
I was just asking what card he picked, so I know. Like now, two people know. So
yeah.
you know that
So now
it's
two people
accurate.
know this card.
I
that's
did
not-
look at the
that's-
hand
that's
though. I
not
did look at
physically-
his card. Like if he did have a card in his
Yeah.
hand, if you were in the situation, you would have done the same.
But the guy was pretty impressive because I told Carl what card I was thinking was in
And
my
he got it
hand.
right.
I put it back into this invisible deck, and the guy pulls out a real deck and pulled my card from the real deck. So it was pretty.
Like what? Like
Trying to stroke right now.
Hey, if we got any magicians on here, how did that happen? It was legit.
You're not gonna give their secrets.
Cliff Notes pulls out a nothing air, shuffles air. He pulls out a fake card out of air. There's no card. It's his fingers.
He signed a deal with the devil.
And then the guy pulls out the card in his mind, from Reggie's mind, from a real deck.
He signed a deal with the devil, man.
Pretty impressive, guys. If magician, if you're listening to that story, if you were there at that house that day, I mean, congrats to you, man.
But getting back into it, like, it's crazy how this is the world that we live in, where guys like, yo, I came up with an idea of putting nothing on a table and saying this is art, and going, I'm gonna sue this motherfucker.
It doesn't matter about him suing it because he didn't like do anything in terms of like legally to say that he can get rights to that. He's not gonna win that.
Yeah.
I mean, he claims that he's thought of this before.
He has no proof.
And he has proof. He says that if you Google Tom Miller, nothing, and that's what he calls his sculpture, that there's pictures of him saying, yo, you know what? I'm gonna Google it right now.
All right, but time out. There's multiple sculptures of like people. You can do the same type of art.
Yeah.
And some person can get famous for it, some person can't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't get famous for it. He didn't trademark that type of art or anything like, but you can't.
You can't trademark
Also,
imagination.
This Tom Miller guy is saying that his was called Nothing. This other gentleman sold an invisible sculpture of something. So that could be different.
There you go. Got
That's
you.
something too. It's not
your own had nothing there.
Yeah.
My own something was there.
Yeah.
But what I find crazy though is that the fact that like a lawyer's like, man, you're entitled to some kind of money off this man.
Have you been fooled by this?
Have you been fooled by looking at nothing and in the middle of nowhere?
Bro, have you seen all the art now that's digital? That they sell in digital pieces?
Oh yeah, the NFTs.
Sure, I don't know what they're called.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, the digital arts that people are selling like masterpieces that is I don't know if it's only one piece because technically if it's digital, you can copy and paste.
So yeah, so that's the thing. So like you're supposed to you own it, you own the NFT, and then if you ever find it somewhere, like you get money for it. It's like copywritten. It's like a meme. You get a meme and then
yo, let me send you this link of this art that I'm selling right now.
And you legit have payment, like a proof that that's your piece of.
The arts are pretty incredible. Like, if you saw the guy on Instagram that was doing the art pieces out of like Rubik's cubes, that stuff was dope. Like,
no, I've seen some. The guy with the nail
dice,
gun.
the guy with the dice.
There was a guy. Yeah, I remember the guy with the dice. There was a guy.
The guy with the nail gun. The
saw
guy.
a guy-
He did the Mona Lisa with the nail gun.
We showed him. Yeah, we showed him.
guy
And I'm
shot
talking
him.
about this guy was standing like 2 or 3 feet away from the canvas. He wasn't like right on, and it was quick. Like,
I'm gonna let you know, he was not an artist. He was a construction worker. He was a regular.
Yes, he
guy.
was. Yeah, regular ass
Bullshit.
dude, the dude that built your house.
Bullshit. That guy was for sure that what he did in his past life. He didn't make it as an artist, but he's like, yo, man,
He
back in the
should've.
day, if you should know what I would. Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
By the way, he's fired for using all those nails.
Yeah. His foreman is like, hey, you gotta go, man. that's $45 of nails he just threw on there.
What do you think? You think the guy wins his case?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
No, absolutely not. But you know what? It's
I don't think so
2021,
either.
so I would never be nothing surprising.
Also, I want to know who's the idiot that paid
That paid
for that
$18,000.
sculpture, bro.
So wait, but there's nothing in the room. Did he pay for the whole room? Like,
Yeah,
does he take
because
the room and bring it
the
to his
guy
house?
came and it's like if you're carrying air in your 2 hands and you're like, here
You
go.
paid.
He brought a U-Haul
You
truck
paid
and put the-
$18,000 just to put something on a table and say, "This is my sculpture. It's nothing."
But I saw the picture,
Yeah.
which obviously we showed you the picture already.
Yeah.
It's just an empty room.
Yeah, there's no plaque that says
Yeah,
with
guys,
the title
like
that
you
says,
can't, like you guys can't see what we saw, but it's literally shows
no,
it.
They're gonna
post
see.
it.
I'll
We're
post
gonna-
All right,
it.
we'll post it. It's literally
Somebody's
a room with
watching
nothing.
videos.
It's literally a room with nothing.
Yeah, but there's no like statue, nothing that says
There's
this
nothing,
invisible
yeah,
sculpture,
there's
this price, bid on this.
It's your imagination. You get to like read whatever.
I could just make an empty room in my house and think about it. Like, oh, look at this sculpture in my
Yeah.
house, and people go like, "There's nothing in this room. Are you crazy?"
Do you bring a U-Haul truck for how big your imagination thinks it is, or like how what kind of how do you transport?
You
it?
get a crew. Like, someone need you bring this in.
Yeah, do you really
They
believe
look at him
like they're
"What's
like, wow, there's a life-size scale of a fucking blue whale. Do they bring like a semi truck to like bring the air?
That's like imagine if we were at work at Best
if
Buy.
I spend $18,000, I'm playing that thing out to the T. Like however big I think it is, that's what I'm doing.
So
So you gonna make the moving guys like grab it and wrap nothing and like
Yes.
pick
I
up
feel like
pick up
honestly,
nothing.
What you're probably doing is literally copying and pasting the entire room. Because every time when I Google it, it's just literally the
A deep room.
Yeah, because you
Deep
can't.
room,
There's nothing to take
There's
a picture
nothing in
of.
there. This is my sculpture. Hello.
That's crazy.
Nothing. You know what? I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna call it air.
Like, it is genius.
And see if I can
there,
make
there
some
is
money.
some sort of genius to it. Like, you're like, well, what do I have to lose? I didn't use anything. Like, let me put this, and if someone gives me $10, I may just make $10 for doing nothing. So, I mean, there's a part genius to it. I mean, I'm pretty sure he didn't think he was gonna make $18,000 from that.
There's also a part of stupidity in it that we as human beings have gone so far down.
But that's where you
Come
roll
on,
the
man.
dice, Kevin. You're like, let me see what
Like,
happens.
Come on, man. Like,
I'm pretty sure it's not even a famous guy. If he would have done that with
no. He's a random fucking guy, probably.
No, I mean, he has some famous. But he's
It's
not no
like
Pablo Picasso.
it makes no sense. Like during the Renaissance, all the like masterpieces that were made and stuff like that to an empty room.
All right, so
That's where we're at right now. An empty
Like,
room.
genuine true art.
Yeah, so do you think, so because we grew up with that, that's true art. Do you think in like 30
We didn't grow up with the
years-
Renaissance, Carl.
No, I'm talking about that's what we grew up like learning in school, like the actual like pictures, like those kind of like the Picassos and stuff. Do you think eventually, like maybe a while from now, we'll give it maybe 80 or 90 years from now,
I
like
won't be allowed to tell
like
you.
art, like you think art's gonna be like they're gonna forget
It's
about
digital.
that, and art is gonna be whatever like you like.
It's gonna
like
be
some, like,
it's gonna be digital.
random
like,
thing.
Like what you see right now is gonna be digital.
Like
and,
memes?
And no, what?
like memes are gonna be art. Like is that what
Maybe
you're
memes are art technically right now. Theoretically,
Jesus
you can
Christ.
meme
No,
an
no.
art. You can take a meme and put it as a post, and it's
That's
art.
true.
It's
That's
art. But it's everything's gonna be digital. In your house, you'll probably have multiple pieces of digital art that changes, which is out right now
do it
theoretically.
right now,
like a giant tablet?
But obviously on a grander scale.
It's not the same. Like being able to touch.
I mean,
like,
you
what
can't
the
touch the
guy
Mona Lisa.
painted
I'm
on.
gonna get that one out there.
I mean, obviously you can't, but you can at least see the like what our actual artist touched. Like,
Yeah.
like you would like. You
yeah,
can see
yeah. I don't know if
You are touching it. Like, what if you go to the artist and you go, "Am I touching it now?" He goes, "Yes, you are." And you're like,
oh, the invisible one. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Guys, do us a favor. And
he
don't-
can literally
don't pay
be like,
$18,000
this
for that
this
art.
whole area right here is the invisible sculpture, and as soon as you get too close, he's like, "Oh, oh, oh."
Guys, if you have $18,000 to pay for that, support us.
Spend-
Support
Support
us.
us.
Like, subscribe, hit us up. We need cameras.
We take donations.
Sponsor,
We take donations.
We need
give
some
you a
cameras.
shot of Airstone Landcast.
We would like a studio.
Something, please, not that.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you for that, Florida Man Gio. Don't spend $18,000 on nothing. Spend it on us.
Times will change.
Yeah. Into our final topic, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna call. We have a new segment. We're gonna try something out called On the Clock. We're gonna discuss today the best superhero. Each guy's gonna go. We're gonna go 3 rounds. Each person gets 1 minute, uninterrupted, to discuss who's their best superhero, and maybe if you want to discuss and bash the other person's superhero, you can. We're gonna go 3 rounds, and Gio, we're gonna start off with you to my right because you're right to my right. And whenever you're ready, Gio, I'm gonna give you the countdown. We're gonna go 1 minute, starting now.
So my pick is gonna be Wolverine, and why? Because bro, that guy's super overpowered. You cannot. When you think of Marvel, people say like all these other characters. You gotta pick Wolverine. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. His powers are amazing. His storyline is ridiculous. That guy literally came from like back. He's immortal. Like I could be split in half by the Hulk and come back to life. He's been dead and they still bring him back somehow. At one point, his daughter took over the mantle, and he still comes back as Wolverine. There's nobody better than Wolverine. I'm sorry, nobody can beat him. That guy's a shit. Tom Hardy for Wolverine. Nobody's better than him. Yeah, and his movies are awesome. If you saw Logan, you know it's one of the best movies, one of the best Marvel movies ever. People doubted him on the X-Men movies, but you can't beat him.
Yeah,
Wolverine, we love him. Fuck all y'all. Animanium.
Kevin?
All right. So for me, I would say Batman. So Batman is the best superhero because he's the most real superhero. He's the only person that actually is believable as a hero. Obviously he's a billionaire. That's his best superpower. Billionaire philanthropist. He's the real billionaire philanthropist. Bachelor. That most eligible bachelor ever. Yeah, he has a contingency plan for everybody, so he can beat anybody. You give Batman time, he can stop any superhero or any villain. Yeah, it's Batman. Like he carried DC for all of the 90s. Without Batman, there wouldn't be any DC. Yeah, and I talk about movies. Batman movies are fucking phenomenal, guys. All right, and that's all I have to say.
And time, Carl.
All right, so the guy I gotta pick, or I mean, doesn't have to be a guy, but the superhero I pick is Thor. I mean, the first thing you get is that Thor's a god. So like, if you compare him to Superman or something, I mean, Superman's an alien. You got a human on your side. Wolverine doesn't matter. He's not that great. I mean, so he got that. He's a god, number one. That's first and foremost. He got the hammer. You can't if you can't carry the hammer if you're not like the chosen one, I guess you could say, like pure enough. We've all seen that in all the Marvel movies. That's a huge one. And I mean, and the biggest thing you need is that again, the point is that he's a god and he can control so much more. He's moved 9 realms, not Earths, like full realms. He's just the strongest. I mean, there might be small hiccups there here and there, but for overall, I think that's where it's at.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna talk about why Spider-Man is the best hero on the planet. You're talking about a young teenage kid, born in Queens. Kevin, I don't know how you didn't defend this because this is from your city right here, Kevin. Born in Queens, raised by his aunt and his uncle. Uncle gets murdered right in the streets. He gets bitten by a radioactive spider. He can't find love with the girl he's in love with in high school, and he goes and saves all of New York City, bro. This guy is gangster. Spider-Man is the greatest hero of all time. He has one of the best villain lineups ever. He lives in one of the most major cities of all time, and the guy doesn't need any other gadgets. He just it's all web. He's super strength. He's one of the greatest superheroes that I've ever seen ever, and he's so humble. He's a kid. The guy is a kid, and he's saving all of New York City to be able to give you guys the best shows ever, some of the best movies ever, and some of the best like fight scenes ever too. So I think that Spider-Man is gonna be my guy to fight with. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and rebuttal what you said. Like, I feel like people think that Spider-Man is such a great person. One, he's another one of the superheroes that feel like, oh, like you shouldn't kill people or you shouldn't make these decisions because then it makes you like one of them. You also have someone who has like, one of his storylines is so convoluted. Like, he dies at one point and gets resurrected out of nowhere by some spider dimension. Like, it's a convoluted story. I'm gonna be honest with you. And then the fact that like he doesn't, man, that guy's had a horrible life. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. His Aunt May dies. He's just dead. One of the only people. And then the fact that like the premise of his own superhero-ness and the whole point that he became one was because he let some dude walk away when he could have just done something. Shut the fuck up. You're a nerd. You're always gonna be a nerd. Nobody likes nerds. And let me remind you that those movies, there's only some that are good and some else suck.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna go with all you guys right now. Spider-Man. So the thing with Spider-Man, fuck him. Who gives a fuck if he's from New York? I don't give two shits about that. Wow. He's soft. First of all, he does have gadgets. I don't want to hear that because Spider-Man has the web shooter in original Spider-Man. It didn't come from his fucking hand. Wolverine did get beat. He did get killed by his own powers. Wolverine's own powers killed him, which is the adamantium inside of his body, which makes him better than what he was originally, which was just the bones, which he would have got fucked up with just the bones. Thor. so Thor's problem is his ego. Thor's ego is too much. He thinks he can beat everybody, and which gives him no issue. Batman's amazing. Batman knows where he has his flaws, and he combats that. Like, he understands that he can't beat everybody, so he has to learn and beat somebody.
Carl.
All right, I'm gonna go in on all you just like Kevin did. We're gonna start here. That's Spider-Man. Problem with Spider-Man is that he's a child. He's number one, he's a human. Number two, he's a child. He has no experience. And I mean, you're going against a god, like I say, against Thor right here, like. And you maybe weigh like $120 if you're lucky. He's a god. He's strong. He's gonna throw you up into the air or electrify you. You're like, you can't run away from the thunder. You know, the lightning's coming for you. Number two, adamantium. Thor came out of cables that were made of adamantium. Like, he broke through them, so that means he's gonna rip right through you because that's what you're made out of, Wolverine. And I mean, with Batman, that's the closest one you can get. Let's say we're walking down the street, Thor and Batman, and they just meet out of nowhere, and they're like, "Hey, what's up, Thor? Oh shit, you're Batman. I've been looking for you the whole time." You don't have time to run away. You're gonna throw a smoke bomb. He's a god. you're gonna win. That's it. And you're also human, so it's just lightning kills you in a second. So.
Okay, so let me tell you something about that bullshit that you just told. The adamantium, I understand. Look, he's got superpowers. Thor is a guy got superpowers. Batman, I'm gonna end the argument today. Batman is not a superhero. He has no superpowers. It's all gadgets. Oh, my sad story. He's a spoiled brat of DC that has he has all the. I understand he's rich and famous and all that, but that's not a superpower. That's bullshit. It's Batman. I'm gonna end everybody today. All my fans, all this shit that like Batman. Fuck Batman. Fuck him. He has no powers. Fuck him. Alright? He is the worst. He has no powers. All gadgets. You take it away from him, Spider-Man will dog him. Thor will dog him. Fucking Wolverine will dog him. I don't want to hear the story about, he has the power to be able to beat any superhero. Fuck that. Batman is bullshit. He's a bullshit argument that I don't want to hear about none of that, okay? And I'll go against anybody. You want to fight that? Batman, and I'll put Iron Man 2. They're not super heroes.
Alright, fine. So if I'm going to have to defend Wolverine, I'm going to fucking defend Wolverine.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. Forget the fact that he has adamantium. It's that healing power that gets him the fucking win here. I hate to remind you guys, but he fought against the Hulk. He fought the Hulk. The Hulk ripped him in half, yeeted parts of him like God knows where, and he was able to come back and he's still alive. And then let me remind you of the fact that not only did he get his adamantium ripped off, but when they took out his adamantium, they realized that his bones were actually claws. In fact, like that's his own power. It wasn't the adamantium that gave him the claws. It was his own abilities. And the fact that he can whoop people's ass in this berserk rage and never give up is what makes him an amazing ass superhero. So y'all can talk about Thor, y'all can talk about Batman, y'all can talk about Spider-Man and all that motherfucker. But when fucking Wolverine goes and he starts, good luck trying to stop him because that motherfucker is endless. And the fact that like his own like his memory manipulation and all that whatnot. Fuck all y'all, Wolverine's a shit. Fuck Spider-Man.
Kevin.
All right, so we're gonna get on the Batman's not a superhero thing. So Batman has trained in every form of martial arts possible. He has actually trained his body in terms of strength, so he technically has the strength of like the world's strongest man. If you've read the comic books, he can fuck Spider-Man up, who has gadgets, even without his gadgets, because he is that type of dude. Now, with being the powers now, a billionaire is a power. If you're a millionaire. If you're a billionaire, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You have the power to do whatever the fuck you want as a billionaire. Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. I'm done with that. No words. Drop the mic, pussies.
Carl.
Alright, so you might have all the money in the world, but I mean, going back, Thor's a god. Like, God is like better than money. Like I'll burn your bank account with my lightning. That's it. Done. As far as I mean it's stuff. I mean I think Batman is a superhero. I'll give you that. I mean I'm not supposed to be siding with somebody, but yeah, Batman is a superhero. Wolverine, you got ripped in half. Yeah, so you technically lost. Like you come back. That's like when you lose the finals. You're coming back next season to go play again. Like you got ripped in half. It was over. Like you lost. I mean you came back, but you still lost technically. Which is pretty much what Thor's gonna do. And Spider-Man, I mean, I explained everything. I mean, you're gonna have your web shooters. You have your like little special suit that Tony Stark made you. If you send that lightning through that suit, the suit's no good. I mean, you're gonna have your basics, but you're not gonna have all that extra special technology. Thor's where he's at. He's a god. End of story.
All right, so to end the final round, guys, I'm gonna tell you, the original Spider-Man may have had your web shooters and stuff like that, but the way I see it is that you saying that Batman can't fight without his gadgets. Kevin, there's no way that Batman can chase Spider-Man around New York City without no gadgets. The guy can swing from web to web. He can't. Batman's gonna do run in the Batmobile. He can't chase nobody in the Batmobile. So I don't hear nothing.
Too much traffic.
I understand. But having money is a power. They say but bro, that it's crap. At the end of the day, yeah, he trained to have all these martial arts and all that stuff. But in a combat fight, Kevin, there's nobody that's beaten the boy from the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, bro. Next to Batman, I'm gonna end it like that. This Batman, he might have the second best list of villains, but look at what he does it with. He doesn't need money. He doesn't need the power. He just does it with. The guy's a kid. The guy was a kid and was able to end all the Sinister Six by himself. And that's how I close it out.
So then, if I have to defend Wolverine,
no, that was it.
3 rounds.
Remember, you started it.
It was 3 rounds.
Cut me out.
Yeah.
No, you started it. That was the third one. You started it.
You guys let us know out of our argument who do you think was the best superhero that we've discussed.
Or maybe we didn't say what you think is the best superhero.
Maybe you
let us
picked...
know which one you think is the best one.
Yeah.
Give us a little reason why you think he's the best one.
Wolverine.
Gio, it's not Wolverine.
Batman.
It is.
I'm Batman.
Wolverine's like 5'6".
Batman
guys.
is so easy. Batman's so easy to pick. Like I hate people that pick Batman.
What does the science have to do with any of it?
What do you mean, Spider-Man? Everybody picks Spider-Man.
Because he's the best. He's a
not.
superhero, Kevin. It's a superhero. You know what superhero is, Kevin? A guy that has superpowers. He was bitten by a radioactive spider.
Do we have to bring up the emo Spider-Man from the movies?
Let me say something. Spider-Man had some of the best actors, okay? Tobey Maguire, they give you a...
Are you gonna say Batman doesn't have the best actors?
The best Joker of all time. You already know who it is. Heath Ledger.
Yeah. You know who Heath Ledger didn't play? He didn't play Batman. He played the Joker. Okay?
Yeah,
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer I liked. Yes.
First of all,
Christian Bale.
George Clooney is an amazing actor.
Bat nipples.
That Batman was...
No, but you said actors in general.
Yeah.
George Clooney's an amazing actor.
I said Batman actors, Kevin. Batman actors.
That was a good movie and you know it and you liked it, so don't say anything.
What
killed the dinosaurs?
The George Clooney Batman's only good because of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The Ice Age.
But listen, look. Val Kilmer had to play as a villain in the Spider-Man movie. As Vulture.
That's a different person.
All right, so how about
Michael Keaton? Michael Keaton was Batman too.
Sorry, you don't know.
So we'll just do this.
Keaton was
Then
Batman
to settle it, we'll get the actor that you pick that plays your character, and then they're in a bare knuckle boxing match. Who wins?
What bare
What?
knuckle?
That's
What?
it.
No,
Carl
I
wins.
understand too that like Batman as a
That's it.
okay bare knuckle fight. You know that the actor does not have god powers like Thor. So whoever the fuck.
So he's fighting a 12-year-old.
Don't listen. Tobey Maguire's. He's
Tobey got like 30. Tobey got like 30.
all the shit. I'm not picking
Who's the best Spider-Man actor?
best Spider-Man actor. I would
Best
say
Spider-Man, or
is
you talking
Tom
about best Peter
Holland,
Parker?
because Tom Holland gives you the best of both. He's a good Peter Parker and a good
He's an addict.
Spider-Man.
Who's the best Wolverine? Unfortunately, there's only one.
There's only one, unless Tom Hardy.
Kevin, who do you think
takes
was the best
that
Batman?
mantle.
Who was the best? Unfortunately, it has to
Why
be Christian Bale.
unfortunately?
It has to be Christian Bale because he did the in terms of like ratings, he
Yeah.
did the best Batman rating.
Who did you
movies.
like? Because it seemed like you didn't like Christian Bale.
No, Christian Bale was good.
Yeah.
Who did I like? George
You like
Clooney.
George Clooney?
I like that movie.
No,
There's
but
only one Batman that
everybody likes
matters.
that movie because of Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not because of George
There's
Clooney.
only one Batman actor that matters.
Who?
Kevin Conroy.
Stop. It was
When
Adam,
you
Adam
think-
West.
Stop the
When
voice
you-
acting. No, not the voice
That's
acting.
the best. When you think of like the best
That's
Batman
not
ever,
real.
it's the animated series. I'm
All right.
sorry.
That's not real.
And when you only have one actor for fucking.
Worth like one.
Well, guys, listen.
The one and only. He's a god. He can't be recreated.
Shut up. He's an actor. Okay,
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth is an actor. Okay.
He's a god, an Australian god.
Have you seen? Hold on, I will give it to him.
You
Have
take
seen
that
his wife?
back.
All right. Well, you know, we're not talking about wives.
That's a
We're talking
banger.
about the actors. Guys, that's the end of episode 13. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you talk about the super teams. If it's good for the league, let us know what you think about your superheroes.
Hold
Who's
on.
the best?
Let's not forget.
What?
We have a rock paper scissors.
Oh yes.
Oh shit!
Oh,
so
shit.
listen,
That's
yeah.
right.
Okay, so listen. So in the past couple episodes, we've been doing the rock paper scissors to take a shot of Airstone, and we have the two champions. It's gonna be Kevin against Gio, and listen, when are you guys gonna take this L? So
Someone's taking an L. Hold on, let me break down the ground rules here, guys.
You know the ground rules of rock paper scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. I'll shoot, you go. If you get a tie, you don't split. You're gonna do. You're gonna go for again.
Split, right?
If you guys want to split, I'm down for a split.
There's no
too.
split, Carl.
All right, I'll do a split for you guys.
Ready?
Yeah.
so one time.
Paper, scissors, shoot.
Gio loses.
Gio's finally taking
champion.
his shot. Kevin the champ. Shot. Ooh, Gio, don't do it. Oh, don't do it.
Yeah, chug the whole bottle. Oh
No,
God.
don't chug
Oh,
the
I'm gonna
bottle.
throw up. I
Don't
just
die.
looked at that.
Gio, you know what? I'll let you take us out. You take us out today.
Fuck Airstone and whoever the fuck made it. Oh, it's
Guys,
burning down my throat.
We'll see you next week. Another episode, another podcast, like as always, baby. On the rocks, we out here live, hopefully soon, and we'll be in. We're gonna be in Orlando soon, guys. So we're gonna keep you updated on Orlando. We're gonna go live and do Epcot around the world. So we'll see you next week, guys.
Take it easy.
Team Thor boys, let's go.
Good night. Later, guys.